Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? It's your boy Provoked Thoughts, and we are gonna have a good one tonight, man. We got Cassie on the stand. We got Trump in the Middle East. We got a whole lot going on. So stay tuned. It's gonna be on and popping in a minute. Let's go. Hey, yo, what's happening, everybody? Like I said, once again, welcome to the show. Welcome to Provoke Thoughts Live. It's your boy, Mr. Provoke Thoughts. And we are in the building. I hope that everybody is good, having a good Tuesday, got off work, chilling. It's a lot going on lately, man. It is a lot going on in the news. It is a lot going on in sports, man. Before we even get started, man, shout out to Jason Tatum, man. Blew out that Achilles last night. It looks like the Knicks are going to be going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's going to be something to see, man. We're going to really see something different here in the playoffs this year. Um, Today was an interesting day, of course, in the Diddy trial where Cassie took the stand and she had a lot to say, man. It was a lot going on. Um, some familiar stuff that I can remember that was stated in other cases. You got a little bit of urine involved. You got coercion, from what she said, and actually said that at a point she liked what she was doing because it gave her a chance to spend time with old Diddy. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Meanwhile, Trump is in the Middle East. And the left wing is kind of losing their minds, man. They going crazy. We talking about planes and oh, it's a violation this, and oh, you over there with the enemies. We're not supposed to have diplomacy in our country. We are supposed to hate everyone, everybody in the world, but we're supposed to let everybody in the world in the country. It's a very, very interesting situation. Very, very interesting situation if you think about it. We're supposed to hate everyone, but we are supposed to allow everyone in the country. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. We got your boy Trump landing here um, in Saudi Arabia. And it was a very, very interesting thing that went on today. Today Donald Trump embarked on a high profile tour uh, of the Middle East, blending diplomacy, business, and spectacle across Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Okay. Now, this trip marked a grand, it was marked with grand ceremonies, significant policy announcements, and underscored by Trump's indistinctive approach to foreign relations. Trump visits Saudi Arabia began today, May 13th, where he was greeted with enormous fanfare. And I'm telling you, it was enormous. This guy, they pulled out carpets. They did so much to show respect to the president that he doesn't even get in the United States. And it's very, very interesting, and it can give you pause when you think about it. This all of this stuff included like lavender carpets, a motorcade accompanied with horses. Okay, horses. The man had horses waiting on him to ride him into wherever they was going. Okay. Now the crown prince, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, And together with they signed a strategic economic partnership agreement. This actually encompassed $1 billion letter of intent to enhance defense capabilities, collaborations between Saudi Arabia, Space Agency, and NASA. So we actually are building towards our future with this. Um, now the for Arabian leopard conversation with the National Zoology Park as well. The visit coincided with the Saudi U.S. Investment Forum, attracting CEOs from major companies like Blackstone, Citigroup, Palantir Technologies, notably Nvidia. Which, if anybody got a computer, they know what Nvidia is. AMD announced plans to supply semiconductors to Humane and Saudi AI companies in a $1 billion project. Elon Musk is actually serving as the advisor, and that's going to really give them pause because they don't want Elon Musk to be involved in anything that has anything to do with anything. So that's where we at with that. If Elon's involved, they lose their minds regardless. Um, so I mean, it's kind of interesting, that we get all these. Well, I'd say if you be objective about it, I don't want to, put anybody in a box. I don't want to, because I'm not trying to make anybody feel some type of way. But isn't it possible that with the tariffs and the stock market going up, with hostages being released, with medical prescription drugs about to be 30 to 80% cheaper, that we're actually winning a little bit. We're not losing. Uh, the last few years, we got hosed by the Democratic Party. I voted Democrat all my life, man. And we got hosed by these people, man. And, I would love to hear something from them besides Trump bad. Okay. Now, with this Elon Musk thing, Saudi Arabia approved the use of Starlink for aviation and wartime purposes as well. And it showcased Optimus robots. It also, showcased the ability to make chips, things like that. Now, during this day, Trump announced that he's lifting the U.S. sanctions on Syria and scheduled a meeting with Syria's new leader, Ahmed al Shara, signaling a shift in U.S. foreign policy in the region. Also, called on Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords. Through this proposal was met with silence from the audience, of course. This is something different for them. Now, in a move that sparked criticism, Trump's administration barred reporters from major wire services like Reuters, Bloomberg, all the left wing media. I guess they couldn't go, um, with him on that trip. So they are definitely in their feelings. The tour facilitated a substantial economic agreement with Saudi Arabia, which is a good thing. And the AEU pledging a combined 2 trillion in investments, including projects like Disney Abu Dhabi Resort, BlackRock's partnership with IHC, Trump's family members, including Jared Kushner, were involved in regional business ventures, securing significant funding from the Gulf-backed sources. Now, of course, they're going to use that. That's going to be an issue. Of course, when it comes to, what's going on with, the foreign policy deals. Now, one of the things that they did was really, really interesting to me was that they actually showed us so much reveille and so much diplomacy towards the American president, more so definitely than what he gets in his own country. It was a show of respect. in my view, it was a show of, people actually paying attention to what's actually happening and what's actually being said. I do believe that it was a great thing for Donald Trump to go and do his thing out there in Saudi Arabia and continue to do so. Now, one of the main things that these people are absolutely going crazy and super concerned about, which is, I don't know, it's not a problem to me. But of course, if Trump passed gas in his bedroom in the White House, that's definitely a problem for everybody. They do not like it. They don't like him. So they definitely don't like the idea of him having flatulence. That just proves to us, as American people in their eyes, that Donald Trump is a great big old monster. And oh my God, his farts, it's a level of ridiculousness at this point right now. I think that we have a group of people in our country that wants the American president to fail. And if he fails, America fails. And it makes no sense to me that people actually look at our American president, not root for him going overseas. You get people in comment sections saying, oh, they need to, keep him over there or kidnap him and all of this craziness, when he's actually over there on our behalf. All of this time that people are thinking, hey, well, Trump is about himself and all of this. You got a President Joe Biden who went overseas and couldn't even shake the, the prince's or prime minister's hand. These are the people that we dealing with here, man, and it's kind of interesting. Um, so he's overseas, he's getting all of this fanfare, all of this wonderful stuff is happening, and we have people who just cannot, absolutely cannot give the credit where credit is actually due. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy that you can be shown up by another country that shows you the reveille that they would show an American president. It's actually pretty freaking crazy. We actually are embarrassing ourselves on a national stage, and it absolutely sucks. So once again, I do want to welcome everybody to Provoke Thoughts Live. And if this is your first time coming in, make sure that you do like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. If you have an opposing view about Donald Trump and you want to get on this live, please do. I am ready to talk to you. I'm ready to hear you. And I would hope that you say something that makes sense. I really do. Something that's not, oh, I just hate Trump, oh, this, oh, that. So the link is now in the chat. And if you want to, of course, I got a new link. I'm not using StreamYard, I'm using Wave now. So if anybody wants to go ahead and take a little look and see what's going on and come on in, please do. Now, the crazy thing about it is these people are worried about some of the craziest things in the world, man. I mean, I don't understand how you're worried about planes and all this craziness when you have literally blown all of our money on the Democratic side. Now, this is somebody who's right of center, more of a centrist. I don't believe that, I think that people should have the right to love who they want to love and do all of these different things. I don't believe in men and women's sports. I somewhat believe in, abortion in certain circumstances. So I'm not the guy that sits here and thinks, hey, I'm better than you because this, that, and the fifth. And, it is absolutely insane, to feel that way and just think that way without any, without any other ways of how to do anything else. So if anybody, please come on in. And we got Noobs in the building. What's going on, brother Noobs? How are you doing, sir?
Give me a second to get my stuff together here. I got too many panels playing noise. There we go. I think. Can you hear me all right?
I've been able to hear you just fine.
All right, good deal.
Absolutely.
What's up, man?
And how
Long
you?
time no see.
Yeah, long time no lives, man. I'm getting back into my shtick. I think that the weather is helping me out a bit.
What is?
The weather.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm actually getting I'm feeling good, man. It's warm outside, and I am feeling amazing right now.
Yeah,
And
I've been getting busy this time of year, man. The grass is growing like crazy.
oh my gosh, man, I've cut my grass in the past 3 weeks about 5 times. I can't I just can't look at crap like that, you know.
Yeah.
So as you can see in the background, I'm presenting, Trump landing in the beautiful Air Force One that needs to be retired because it's 40 years old.
Is it really that old? I thought they just had that thing refurbed.
I mean, but it's still it's actually, they said that this plane was actually created in 1986.
Really? Well, hey, man, I got cars that are older than that are in pretty good shape.
But this joker flies around a lot. To get a lot of miles, man. Air Force,
Yeah, but I mean, airplanes work different, you know.
I know that. I mean, I know it's not like an engine inside of a car. I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, the airplanes that I worked on, uh, while I was active duty, are a lot older than 1986. Most of them were mid to late 50s era, and I'm talking like C5 Galaxies. 141s were even older.
oh, absolutely. And basically, like I said, this is, if you look at this amazing scene that we got here, this man gets more respect overseas than he does in his own country.
Well, he gets more attention no matter what he does, you
Absolutely.
know. If it's not for, the people that are standing there, to cheer him on and, and that sort of thing, it's just, a bunch of lunatics with their little heads spinning around.
Absolute losers, bro. you know,
You
it, it's so,
know,
it's so amazing to me because this has been the hardest L I've ever seen anybody take in my life.
the
You know,
hardest what? L?
yeah, loss.
Who? What loss is that?
I'm just saying the Democratic Party, they cannot handle it.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, look who they have as what their vice chairman of the Democrat Party now.
And who was that? AOC?
No, no, no. It's that little metrosexual kid
Yeah.
that was there during the school shootings and all that. What's his name? Or he was there after the school shootings, telling everybody that he was there during the school shootings.
Talk about that his son was
Huh?
who? Because that Tim Wall said the same thing, that his son was involved in at a active shooting situation.
What? No. What's that kid's name? Come on.
I'm not
The
quite.
the the he's like the vice chairman of the Democratic National Convention or whatever. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about, but
Yeah,
I can't place the guy.
that kid who just runs his mouth like Rosie O'Donnell. What's his name?
I
Uh,
forget his name. Oh my goodness, that's
It'll come up here. I'm searching for it as we're talking about it, but every time when you go to look for something specific, it's the last thing that'll ever end up on your screen.
absolutely.
It'll come up anyway. Press on.
Yeah.
What is it? David Hogg. That's what it is.
Yeah, David
Brain
Hogg. Yeah.
work.
David
Brain
Howard.
work. Yeah, I mean, so that's their leadership is David Hogg.
Absolutely. David Hogg, oh pig piece of shit. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I mean, and it's it's not that he doesn't have any real conviction because he doesn't. It's not that he talks out of both sides of his face all the time because he does. It's just he backflips left and right and the other thing, and now he wants to channel all of the energies of the Democratic National Convention to get Democrats out of the party.
mm.
So that's his mission right now. That's his goal in life is to turn on Democrats. Instead of spending their time and energy getting their shit together and maybe finding a message and having a plan, this is what they're spending their resources on.
Yeah. I mean, and absolutely concerned about things that are like, why do you even give a damn?
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. I
And,
mean,
and I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the message is. What
Yeah,
is the message of the Democrat Party right now?
Trump bad.
Trump,
Exactly. That's all
Trump,
they got.
yeah, Trump
Because
bad.
all you hear about is, oh, save the immigrants this, save the immigrants that. But, Trump tries to bring 50 white South Africans into the country and
Lose
they
their,
lose their minds.
they lose their minds. And it's amazing to me. I'm like, why is everybody going freaking crazy? And he said it doesn't matter if they're black or white, they're being persecuted. He brought them in the right way.
Right. So let me understand this. The only people that we want to bring into the country are people who can help burn down the civilization here in order to make it more like the third world country that they came from. I guess those are the only people that the Democrats want.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Because the thing of it is that while they live in their gated communities,
Yeah. Well, hey, if you don't have your MS-13 card, you are just not welcome.
Yep.
I mean, the due process of Kilmore, because that's his name to me, Kilmore.
Yeah.
Braco Garcia. If it's not him, then oh my God, if he can't get due process, no one can. Oh my God. And then they sit here and they're worried about crap. Like the crap that they're concerned with breaks my heart. It's like,
I mean,
why are you worried about this?
Yeah.
Why are
y'all
you,
was in office the last
Keeping them
4
honest with
years.
breaking news about that
why are you
747 the Qatari royal family is giving to President Trump, which he will keep, he says, for his library after leaving office. We learned today that it could take 2 years and 3/4 of
He didn't say he was going to keep it. He said he was going to put it in his presidential library. You did. I don't like Anderson. He pissed me off within 12 seconds. 12 seconds. And I'm pissed because you just lied. He's not. He said he's going to donate it to his presidential library, and actually, they were donating it to the Department of Defense. These are the things that they don't tell you. Oh, Trump's getting a plane, but I bet you if Biden got a plane,
They'll tell everything. They'll say he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that with Trump. Oh,
they would not
2 or
care.
3 years. Come
They
on.
would absolutely not care. So let's go ahead and keep it rolling. You all can hear that pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
$1 billion or more to bring the plane up to Air Force One standards. Now, that's according to a person familiar with the matter. $750 million or more to take it.
That plane is nice, new, and very sleek.
Now, it is a few years old. It is a refurbished aircraft.
Yeah, but it's nice and sleek.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of sexy.
Have you seen the interiors of aircraft that are at this level?
No, I haven't, but I'll definitely pull that up.
Oh my goodness.
It's the palace in the sky.
Dude. I mean, the airplane that they showed, with Tony Stark and the bar girl strippers or whatever, that is nothing. That is nothing compared to what is out there, man.
He's about to start. He's about to be riding around on Soul Plane.
Shag carpet, spinning bed.
He's gonna be riding around on the Soul Plane. Snoopers,
Yeah.
let's go.
It apart, check for surveillance devices, then refit it with the defenses, communications gear, and all the rest a commander-in-chief needs. In short, all the gear already on the 747 he flew to Saudi Arabia for a day of pomp and ceremony, fighter escort included, and which he'll fly in just a few hours to Qatar for more of the same. His current 747, though, aging, already has all of that, and so will the new 747 Boeing is building, which is years behind schedule, as the president has pointed out, but which the company now says it could deliver in the next 2 years. In other words, about
Sounds like a plan to me. He plans to use that other aircraft for about the same length of time that it's going to take them to finish the new Air Force One.
It's crazy that the Democrats is really going nuts over this little stupid trip, and that's you're gonna go to China.
They have no
already made
choice.
a deal in China, so
Yeah, they have no choice because, I mean, what did he land? Like, a $1 trillion deal with the promise of another 2 trillion,
yeah.
and they have no choice but to spend, because they're losing. They're getting like plowed into the dirt. This is like Hulkbuster kind of, just getting dragged, and they don't
Yeah,
know what else to do.
they got nothing else. Hey, Dims 13. Hey, rings a
Yeah,
bell, doesn't it?
and so now, and going back to what I think you were talking about earlier, Derek. Who is the actual leader of the Democratic caucus now, or the party? What is that, AOC?
It's
Isn't
like
she the one with the best numbers or something?
they clearly don't have a leader.
Yeah, because I mean, who actually clicks on Hakeem Jeffries videos?
Nobody.
Nobody, not even Dems.
Unless unless
That dude is like
unless
watching paint dry.
yeah, man, this and sure black fatigue is crazy. I'm getting sick of this shit, man.
Explain that. Explain that. Explain the black fatigue.
Black fatigue is basically I've seen a few videos white folks is basically being fed up with how they're how black people act ghetto, they act ratchet, wearing bonnets in the store, wearing pajamas,
Now,
all
see,
types.
that's what I thought at first, but I saw another video today where it was explained as black people are just tired of all the things that are necessary in this country in order to be black.
Mm, mm-hmm. It's
And
like
so I've heard both explanations so far, and I'm not sure which one is the popular one.
well, black people love playing black folks some black folks love to be ignorant, they love to play the victim card, they pull everything they can.
Man, I just want people to think, or people who think that it is tough in this country to be this race or that race or whatever. Go out and watch those videos of people who actually packed up their stuff and moved to Africa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Watch their videos.
Yeah, and they moved to Africa, and one of them regrets the move.
Right.
Yeah.
You did that thinking, oh, I'm going to get away from Trump. I'm done.
Well,
Yeah,
they
And that's
think that they're going to get rid of all of the racism that they feel and everything else, and then they head over there to Africa, and dude, it's like the Super Saiyan version of racism,
of
because
racism.
they don't fit anywhere. They don't know the language, they don't know the customs. They have this Americanized, attitude, because that ghetto behavior doesn't fly over there either.
Nah, not at all. I mean, and it is crazy, to see people like go out and go shopping in their pajamas. I wouldn't go anywhere with my woman dressed
Hmm.
like that.
Um,
You
hey,
know,
another thing, Derek, about that, it seems like black women sometimes they can't handle the fact that they see a black man with a white woman. It's a
Yeah.
reason for that, and they like. Here's the thing: I know the difference. I learned on a white woman. Well, some white women can be crazy too, but at the same time, a white woman will be there for you. They'll invest in you. They'll build up with you until you make it. Because that person will invest in you. With a black woman, they get with the finished product. Can you hear me?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, so
I'm,
they get with
I'm
the finished
soaking it in.
product. It's like they with the finished product. Like me, I'm going to school to be an electrician. If I was to meet a white woman today and then tell her what I go to school for, they'll cheer you on. Like I've met a white woman on a dating app. She's beautiful, by the way. And I
Uh,
was
boy.
Hey, I mean, and then I was like typing in, telling her what I was doing and stuff. She was like, "Oh man, yeah, you gonna get it, you gonna get it," and it's from a white woman. But when
Yeah.
it comes to a black woman, you'd be like, "Oh, that's cool.
Or
That's it. That's
or
cool."
they'll hear you, and some of my sisters, not all, but
Oh,
some
I'm saying the
some of
same thing. Yeah.
them hear it and see it as an opportunity.
Hmm.
It becomes an opportunity at that point. So
Yeah.
you have to look at it from that side as well. A lot of times women may see a situation like that and be like, "Oh goodness, yeah, I'm gonna, get some money out of this," and
Mhm.
then they'll, you start to use sex as a weapon.
Yep.
It's in all the music, it's in there, it's everywhere we go.
Mhm.
It's actually really, really interesting to see,
Yeah.
how it happens. But let's go ahead and get back to this plane crap
Let's
for a little
go.
bit because they tripping.
Yeah,
the same delivery time as the one the president says he'd be stupid not to take.
What?
I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person, say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane. But I thought it was a great gesture.
Well, that notwithstanding, the gift, which Mr. Trump actually took a tour of back in February, raises ethical, constitutional, foreign policy, and national security concerns, some or all of which a number of Republican lawmakers and other Trump loyalists are speaking about. Here's Senator Mike Rounds, who sits on the Intelligence Committee, comparing the plane to a Trojan horse.
It seems to me that the Greeks actually had something like that happen one time, a long, long time ago.
Now, this is the dumbest take on this whole airplane thing ever.
Inside of a community, this aircraft is beautiful, and it would be great if we could accept it, but security concerns are also there.
BS.
Well, Senator John Cornyn, also on the Intelligence Committee, said...
Good question. Is Qatar one of our enemies?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter, okay? I mean, as somebody who has participated in and performed numerous isochronal and non-destructive inspection on aircraft and airframes, let me tell you that every rivet will be accounted for and documented on that airplane. You are not sneaking anything aboard that plane that is not going to be found during an isochronal inspection.
I believe you. I really do.
There are places built into the aircraft that are designed by the manufacturer to crack. And those panels are inspected during every isochronal inspection, not to see if they're to ensure that they're not cracking, but to ensure that they are cracking in the proper direction. That is how detailed it gets.
Trust and believe me.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's not about the plane.
Yeah.
Oh, it's about Trump.
Well, and it's about a lot of people, like that dude, that congressman or whatever, what Republican, Democrat, whatever. Dude has never worked an airplane in his life.
I promise.
So why is he talking about it?
Oh, well, those Trojan horse.
Right.
You idiots. Same idiots. The tariffs aren't going to work.
Yeah.
Dude, he caved. It's a can't win for losing with you guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and the John Deere thing is like blowing up today, too. You've been hearing about that?
I didn't get into that. I didn't get into that. But
all right. So John Deere has been planning for several years now to build a particular plant in Mexico to produce a particular machine. I'm not familiar with the machine but it's a specific type of farming, equipment, and they're planning on building it in this plant. Now, a little bit of track record about John Deere is that they've kind of been, like head to head with the government for a long time because they like to put systems aboard their equipment that only they can talk to or work on. And so there's been a lot of back and forth court battles about right to repair, which is what it's called, which means that if I buy a piece of equipment, I should have the ability to repair that equipment and not have to bring it back to a John, Deere dealer, at all the time. And so part of the thing, or the reason that they wanted to move this plant to Mexico, is to kind of skirt some of those regulations about right to repair and that sort of deal. And so now anything coming into the U.S. out of that plant is going to be tariffed. And I don't remember what the percent is, but I think it was over 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and to bring tariffs down.
Yeah.
From 125% to 10% is massive.
Well, that's a negotiating tool. It's to bring people to the table, which is something that previous administrations have not been willing to do. They were perfectly happy, all right, for all of these other countries to make their money on our backs so long as they're getting the kickbacks from it.
Right.
Those backroom deals, hey, Joe, here's another, $3 to $5 million or whatever if you let these guys, build all their crap over here in China land.
Right. And people don't even understand that part. Why
Nope.
why is it that there's a problem with him bringing manufacturing back to the States?
Right.
What's the problem?
And all the people that are flipping out, it's like, oh well, now just the U.S. is the only one that's not going to have this piece of John Deere equipment. It's like, dude, John Deere is not the only one that makes farm equipment. It's not even the preferred company anymore. Everybody around here, and I live out in cow country, that owns a John Deere, those tractors are 60 years or older. The new crap is all New Holland and Kubota, a bunch of other companies that are not John Deere.
Right. And it's crazy because that's what we are looking at. It's like, why are you guys sitting here, happy with the fact that we're losing money, leaking like a sieve,
Yeah,
and oh, Trump bad. How would you fix it? What would
exactly.
you
No
do?
plan. No plan. No plan whatsoever.
And he's making them look like fools.
Yeah.
When it
A-
comes to when
And
it comes
what's with this dude in charge of the Fed? Why is he still here? Why hasn't he been fired?
maybe he's toying with them. You never
I don't know. I don't understand that piece. I have to look into that more. I don't know, who works for who in that situation.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, the green grass grows all around, brother. Everything's a rabbit hole.
Amazing. So let's get back to the idiots losing their minds. I like it because they're so stupid. Oh my god, I've never seen this. Is like the level of stupid is epic. It's epic. And for people, like this person here that said that we are all screwed earlier in the chat.
Yeah. Did he ever answer? I didn't look at the chat since then.
No,
Oh.
you can't answer a question like that.
I was just wondering. I thought I missed something because I came in a little bit late.
No, I mean, people. I went to the store earlier to get my beer, and I'd had a conversation with my mom, and for the first time, she had something positive when it came
Uh-oh.
to say about Trump,
Hmm.
and it comes with the prescription drug deal.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh
Y-
yeah. That's epic.
You know, she was like, "Now that right there is going to help a lot." You know,
Dude,
when it
how long? How long? So everything that Bernie Sanders has ever run on has just been chopped out from underneath of him. Every single thing. And how long have the Democrats been talking shit about lowering drug prices? How many times have we heard Joe Biden say that he was going to lower drug prices? And then this dude just turns around and does it.
boom lowered.
Boom. Yeah, you sell to us as cheap as you sell to any other country, or we ain't going to buy from you.
Right. And we should have the ability to make those medicines inside
Mm-hmm.
the country because if we do have a conflict with said country, they
Yeah.
can easily stop the medicine
Now,
coming.
it's only fair if other countries are appropriating our technology. It's unfair if we appropriate the technology of others.
Yeah, that's true. That's the word.
I mean, that's what they're screaming about, right? I mean, again, this goes back to my question, what is their messaging? Because now the Democrats are pissed off that, that he got that deal done. Okay.
And it's crazy because you go across that pond and people are looking at Trump a little bit differently than what Americans are.
Mm,
All you got to do is go across the pond.
yep.
And it's funny because we are the most gaslit nation in the world. How could you possibly look at these positives? You got a guy that's been released from being a hostage. That's
You,
all.
you, you know what it's become? This is the modern day Coliseum.
Yeah.
Okay, because we are the most litigious nation in the world. And so, look at, I mean, especially with the explosion of social media and everything else, it's like, everybody is crowded around watching, the most intense round of Rock'em Sock'em Robot they've ever seen or dreamt about.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
look at the Diddy trial. Look at the YSL trial. Look at all these court cases and crooked judges and everything else. Are you not entertained?
and it's crazy because they feel this way
Hmm.
unless you kill a white boy at a track meet. Unless you
But I
run
mean, even that's part of the show.
right, unless you run over a white man, a police officer. And it's amazing to me what the Democratic Party and left leaning people grasp onto. Anybody who's conservative knows that you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, so why would you bring a knife to a fist fight? Everybody knows with common sense that if your son is in a car with a gun and everybody in the car has guns and the car is stolen, and when the police roll up on you, you grab your gun and you take off running, something's going to happen to you. Period. It does not matter if you are black or white. It just doesn't matter. It just so happens that a lot of the time it's black people.
Well, societal norms, whatever they may be, are racist and fascist. That is the message coming from the left. No matter what it is. If you have to have a driver's license to drive a car, that's racism.
Shit. Well, let me go ahead and renounce my driver's license.
Right?
You know, this is a good one, Mr. Trumpinator. Why would Democrats go after Diddy? And don't they care about what blacks think of them doing so? No.
I think that Democrats are going after Diddy because of what Diddy can do to them.
What he knows. It's all about what this man knows and what he has on film, actually, to be honest with you. That was a good one. Democrats eat their own.
Yeah, buddy.
When Barack Obama was first running for
You know
president,
what we call Republicans that eat their own?
and what's that?
Rhinos.
Oh yeah. So let me tell you one thing about Diddy in the Democratic Party. He launched Rock the Vote back in the day. Remember that?
I remember that.
Huge. And that helped Barack Obama get into the office. That helped. But they eat their own. They don't want to talk about the freak offs and what they've done. They're more concerned about getting Diddy out of the damn way. Because his information is probably more than likely linked to the Epstein situation.
Or, if not, similar and or parallel.
Yeah, absolutely. So this plane situation, you got these idiot pundits, these dummies, and all they're talking about is, oh, Trump bad, and he's this and this, that, and this is illegal, and all of this. If the man farted, they'd try to impeach him. Seriously. And
If he cured cancer, he would be vilified.
Absolutely. Oh, he cured cancer?
Oh my God, it's an endangered species, the cancer, and Trump killed it.
Right. Say, what are we going to do with our elderly? What are we going to do? Why the smokers are not going to pay for smoking anymore? Stuff like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I feel that, once, this is my prediction. This is my provoked thought. Muse Black that comes on calls me the prophet. And I prophesize that by the summer, by my birthday, we are going to be living a way larger than what we were. Things are happening pretty fast. In rapid succession, he's rapid firing policy at these people to where they don't know what to do. They're absolutely confused about how to go about it. And they have no policy position. You know why? Because Trump got all the policy positions. He has all the valid ones. They have nothing. And it's insane. I've never seen a group of people that are so stupid. And they've gaslit the public to the point where you can't hold a pure conversation with most. There are some Democrats that can see your point. We can have a conversation. I can see their points. They articulate them well. I don't get insulted in the middle of it. I don't insult them, and we move on with life. But you have those people that the first thing that comes out of their mouth is either a threat, an ad hominem insult. You're a Trumper, you're sucking Trump's penis, you're doing all type of stuff. Like, man, I'm like, I'm not in love with the man like you. He lives in your head. I mean, love and hate are kind of similar. It takes a lot of effort to hate somebody, man. It takes effort, it takes time, it takes thought. You think about them all the time. Just akin to that, if I'm in a relationship and I leave a relationship, I don't feel hatred. I have nothing for you, no energy. And excuse me, what the Democrats are doing is so stupid because they're expelling their energy on Trump bad, Trump this, Trump that, instead of going to work and trying to reach across the aisle. Just a little bit. Just reach across and say, hey, I know that, I don't agree with everything that you do, but can you help out the LGBTQ people in this area?
Well,
You know,
not even that. Let's go back to the obvious one, and that is, the cost of prescription drugs. Democrats should have been all over that today. Say, hey, you know what? We really hate the orange man and just about everything that he stands for. But damn, he sure did do the American people a good service today by reducing the price of prescription drugs across the board. That would have got them points. You know what I'm saying? They might even had just a little bit of credibility mixed in there with those points, but nope. Instead, they got to do the Trump deranged syndrome. You know,
if they're literally, you know, crapping in the wind,
yeah, with their mouth open.
it's coming and smacking them right in their
It
face.
is too, and I mean, I saw a comment today is like, man, the amount of time that occurs between the time that a Democrat opens his mouth until the time that he gets slapped in the face with whatever he said is getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
I mean, the karma is like, oh my God, the tariffs is going to be horrible, and oh, and the American
Yeah,
people, oh my God.
the
No,
stock market is going to crash and we're all going to die. And then it goes up another 10 points.
I'm actually pretty excited. I looked at my little Bitcoin today. I'm like, oh, okay, we're moving, we're moving, baby. Tesla's moving, it's moving. I'm like, and I know Tim Walz is losing his freaking mind because you remember he said he looks at for a little
Yep.
boost, for a little boost after he watches Pornhub. He,
Yep. But his district, I mean, they're probably losing their minds too because they've got a lot of money in Tesla. So they're making money.
oh yeah, I mean, the Democrats are in a position right now that if these tariffs by the end of the year, and I'm giving it until we're going to start feeling it and feeling the love, probably come August, September, and they're going to be in a shit box because there is no way that you're going to win a primary. You're not going to know where you're going to win the midterms. That's done. You're done. You're
We'll
done.
have to see. There's still a lot of crazy people out there. And aside from the crazy ones, you have the ones that are completely indifferent but still vote.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's very true. I won't discount or dispel that thought process, but at this very same time, you saw the election and what happened.
Yeah, but I mean, if people sit on their laurels between now and then, because the Democrats
No.
have all lost their minds, so we got it in the basket, it's going to go badly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people need to piggyback off this, and the crazy thing is, Jasmine Crockett has a very formidable opponent in her district.
Yeah, and don't discount the flavor of cheating either. Just because we've been seeing some of these dudes get rounded up and wrapped up, doesn't mean that they're done cheating.
That's true as well. I mean,
So we got to outvote the whatever mechanism they've got in place to steal votes.
absolutely, we really do, because if they can, they will.
Yep.
They will.
Especially in the great state of California.
I'm telling you.
Looking at you, Californians. Y'all let that stuff happen, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so crazy because
Votes counted 5 days after the cutoff. What the hell is that about? That is about people slipping in votes because the count is not going the way that they want it to go.
you're damn right about that, man. It's a situation where we are pretty much looking at the fact that they are desperate. And desperate is definitely dangerous. It's definitely dangerous, man.
Yeah,
And
well, and there's still this mindset that they can do whatever they want and just get away with it in broad daylight.
yeah, I mean, when you look at it, that's what they have been doing. But the issue that they're having now is that the American people are more aware. And trust me, the Republican Party has been quiet. And I think that we do need to be more emboldened. We need to, they think that they make us look like fools by saying the things that they say to us and all that stuff, but they literally make themselves look stupid. There is no talking point. There's
Yeah.
nothing. There is nothing but insults of the man, not any advocacy for the policy, the good things that he does. They just insult everything that this man does.
Yep.
Just because it's him. If you took all of these accomplishments and put them on Joe Biden, they would be trying to crown that man king. Literally, they would be trying to crown him king.
Potato Joe.
They're so freaking stupid. It's so stupid.
And I still don't know. I mean, what is attractive about having, the entire force of the government steal your money and just give it to people who have nothing, people who just walked in because they felt like it one day. I don't understand that logic. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, sorry about that. Had to do a little something real quick.
No
What,
need
what,
to-
what was the discussion about? The New Jersey stuff?
New Jersey stuff.
Um,
Oh, you talking about that? Yeah, I think that congresswoman that was wearing that red Miami Vice coat.
yeah. And
Yeah, I
talking,
think she's going to get indicted.
yeah, she talking about we did what we supposed to do. We supposed to put our hands on officials. No, you're not.
No, you ain't.
Need to go to jail. She's actually very treasonous.
Yep.
She
I guess
literally
she's going to have to learn that that's the wrong thing to do the hard way.
right.
Yeah.
She was literally talking about in one of those rallies about Doge that this is war. Yeah,
We are at war.
we go
Yep.
we gonna see what's going on, baby girl.
Yep. And then
Mm.
you got, and let's not forget Cory Booker standing up there for 25 hours. I wonder how many cup of coffee he drunk.
Or cocaine.
Or cocaine, exactly right.
Yeah, so he's standing there whining all day.
How about those guys on the train? The cocaine train.
The cocaine train. They got
Mhm.
caught.
Oh man,
You know what'll happen from it though?
nothing.
Nothing.
Are you talking about Macron and them?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen them. I was like, damn, they doing coke? Where did they get the coke
Yeah.
from?
That's good shit out there in Ukraine too, man.
Yeah.
They ain't messing around.
They got rare earth, so I'm
Yeah,
sure.
all those dudes in that room are in a good mood.
I'm
Oh
sure they got
no.
rare coke too.
I wonder where they got the coke from, Hunter.
Ukraine.
Oh,
I know, I know. I'm just playing,
Zelensky.
but I got what you're
That
saying.
little short pimple that runs around begging for money all the time. That's where
Oh,
they
the
got the
cross,
cocaine.
the cross dresser. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that wears the heels and does the dance videos. That guy.
Yeah,
Zelensky. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the one that got balled out by Trump and Vance, and
Yeah.
he was up there grabbing at his nose the whole interview. Yeah, his nose was numb, and
Sniffing all the time. Yep.
he had the drips.
Hey, let's not forget when Trump did that interview in the White House with this stupid ass person from ABC try to correct him. And remember what Trump was like, you don't know about anything about that, don't you? How
Yeah.
do you know that?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't. All right. So check it out. We're gonna switch it up because we got about 1/2 hour to go before I get up out of here.
Yeah.
And I do want to go ahead and get into the Diddy trial and and Cassie.
Mm.
Cassie jumped on the stand and in familiar fashion, just like the R. Kelly trial, she jumped
As
up
real. Yeah.
pregnant as I don't know what, just like what's her name? What's her nuts? That was standing out in front of his trial back in the early 2000s.
Hey, like James Brown said, Bobby, I don't know.
It's crazy because that level of abuse ain't stopped you from having sex.
Uh-uh.
It didn't traumatize you to the point where you're like, I'm done. Now you come in there with a full baby bump and ready to go. You've moved on with your life, and I guess the only finished product that you can have is to go ahead and lock up the person that you probably love the most.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
they were probably knocking at her door like, hey, we need you.
Hey, J Rock, I know you in here, buddy. I'm gonna need you to come in. I'm gonna need you to come in for this particular segment. I'm trying to segue into it because we got 1/2 hour.
Yeah, we need you, bro. Come on.
Hour. I'm gonna drop that link. Don't be confused. It don't say StreamYard anymore. I've literally broken up with their expensive asses.
Yeah. I I couldn't use them. Like I saw the prices. I'm like, oh yeah,
Like $60. Oh God. What? I mean, you haven't done enough to get $60 out of it.
Yeah.
Trump need to go after these. Look, man, it's a streaming service, man. What are you charging me an arm and a leg for? This is ridiculous. I mean, I got on here, I got promo codes and all type of stuff. I'm at a discount here, and I actually like this particular platform. If anybody's watching, it's a streamer or whatever, go ahead and check out Wave.video. They actually have some really good stuff, man. They actually have a teleprompter for you. So if you want to read, it comes right up in front of you, in front of the screen. You can look at the camera, do your thing. It's actually a great thing.
Yeah.
Once again, I do want to, before we get started, welcome everybody to Provoke Thoughts Live. If it is your first time coming in, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be aware of when I do go live. I'm going live a lot more lately because there is a lot going on. At the beginning of the Trump presidency, I couldn't go live. It was always something every 15 minutes. I would have to literally be giving you live feedback of what's happening right then and there. It's tamped down a bit, but we've had a very winning Saturday, Sunday, on to Tuesday. So these past 4 days have been immaculate. I am so glad I voted for the guy that I voted for, and not an alcoholic. We did a great job, America, in getting the guy that was supposed to be in here. He's doing his thing. He's doing a good job. The Secret Service, make sure you protect him over there and make sure that he's good, and all of that great stuff. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go ahead and get into this Diddy situation.
Let's go.
Now, of course, we got the jury, which I don't believe, and especially in New York, I'm extremely biased about him getting a fair trial. Do I have my opinions about Diddy? Yes. Do I think that he's a piece of shit? Absolutely. Do I think that he might have had something to do with the murder of Tupac and Biggie? Yes, I do. But I also believe that in a situation such as such, you need to charge people with what they are guilty of.
And they ain't did that. They ain't did that with Mr. Kelly. So
they have not done that yet, from what I gather. So we are going to go ahead and jump into some interesting footage here and try to make some things happen for the viewers that are on tonight so that we can dive into a Diddy discussion.
Uh,
Cassie took the stand.
yeah.
All right, so give me a second and we are going to be in there. I think we lost J Rock though, but okay, let's go.
Each other in something like 6 years. And she walks in the room very, very pregnant, looking beautiful in this dress. And as she walks by him, he turned and clocked her, but she did not turn her head to acknowledge him at all. And then on the stand, you couldn't really see if she was looking at him, but he was most certainly looking at her and taking notes as she was talking and
Oh
testifying.
yeah, of course.
I would be taking notes too. Like she lying or something. Like it's weird to me, man. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out real quick. But before we do, what's up, J Rock? How you doing?
Man, what's going on, Derek?
A lot.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that, and I see you got a new link that you're using now. I see.
Oh yeah, we got to flip the game, baby. You know, I told you guys that I was doing some rebranding. We were going to do things a little bit different. I have, I've done some things to try to observe what's happening with the lives. Me and Noobs have talked about it. We got to get to a point where coherency is the key. Because a lot of times we get in situations where we overtalk one another and we get into this situation where the point's not being made. So
Yeah.
we gotta make the point. We gotta drive.
What's happening?
Yellow Bees.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's happening?
Well, man, nothing much. Sorry,
News is going on.
What's up, man?
Trying to learn this new thing, putting like avatars stuff in this. So used to StreamYard, but glad we're not using it anymore. So
Hey, look here, man. I had to move around. You got to dare to be different, and I took a chance. I'm taking a chance. And I like what I see so far, man. I like the progressions. I like it all. Now back to Diddy and Cassie.
Oh.
Now J Rock. It's kind of funny to me. It just amazes me that it's like when she came in there and they showed the picture of her knocked up. I was like, wait, what? I'm like, again? We got another one coming to the court, knocked up, and talking about abuse. And they do this on purpose, man. They do this on purpose. We're gonna stay on topic, and we're gonna try to talk about Diddy. Okay, we're gonna keep it on Diddy. So let's go.
Let's go, man.
While he was looking at her taking notes. Pretty much every answer she gave, specifically when they were asking questions that were sexual in nature or about violence, he was taking notes that sort of entire time. And you can tell with her demeanor on the stand how nervous she was. She was very, quiet at first, didn't really know how to position the microphone. And she didn't seem to really want to answer any of those more pressing questions about their sexual relationship or romantic relationship. She would often kind of pause, take a deep sigh, sort of rub her belly at times. Like I said, she's very, very pregnant. So it did seem that she struggled with some of the questions, not with her responses. She knew exactly what she was talking about, but you could tell she really didn't want to talk about things like the sexuality or the violence that she said she incurred at his hands. So right off the bat, the prosecution started asking about that nature of their relationship, about things about those freak-offs and about the violence. So Cassie testified that she didn't know what version of him she would get when she saw him. And then once they established their romantic relationship, she said it turned violent very, very quickly. And he would do things like hit her, kick her, particularly in the face when she was down. She said that he would drag her at times. I mean, we've seen that video, which she also established that 2016 hallway video happened after a freak off. That's new information that we hadn't known up until this point. But she really didn't seem to want to go into the details about the violence. So
because she don't want to talk about how she hit him.
Yeah, basically.
Period. If you don't want to get into, I don't want to talk about it. What the hell did you bring your ass to court for?
I mean,
look, is this not what we're talking about, Cassie?
Yeah, look, Derek, I know we say we're gonna stick to the subject and stick to Diddy, and we are, but there's no way you can sit up here and tell me that they trying to run that mirror image of exactly what they did to R. Kelly. You bring a pregnant woman on the stand just like they did with Joanna Pace and R. Kelly's trial.
And that's your first female victim witness.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, J Rock, sooner or later, if they wanna start taking both sides out, you need to start telling R. Kelly's side of the story too. But I know they ain't gonna do that
That's very, very true.
because once you do that and you put that part out there, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, we gotta let him out." Like, yeah, let the man out.
Just
And
based on, yeah, go ahead.
see, the hard part about that is, and if they turn around and do that, now you got to justify the fuckery that you put R. Kelly through.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, until you know what, and just to be honest, this RICO thing, this lazy shit that the prosecutors are doing, and see, that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy we have a Donald Trump as a president.
Yeah.
Because he is the only one that has the balls to go after these people. You can see that they're activists. You can see that an Ann Donnelly, is buddy with Letitia James.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh really? Wow.
We saw her ass in the two male, two pale, two stale video.
Yeah.
So it's about culture. It's about these female. Some of these female attorneys get caught up in activism, and then they become judges, and then they turn around and slip migrants out the back damn door.
Yeah.
This is what happens. So you got this, and you probably got this because is this a male or a female judge that's in Diddy's case?
It seemed like a male judge.
Because I know for a fact that all of the attorneys are female.
Huh. They want to talk about him abusing females, but look here. It's even though that one video though. But
but that doesn't mean that you did everything. That doesn't mean that you did everything. I mean, it's ugly, and he should have. She should have said something at the time. I don't know. Look, man. I get the fact that they try to rationalize the fact that people are scared and all of that shit, but she should have said something. Let's keep going.
The prosecution did have to press her a few times can you clarify that? Can you explain that? Because she just really struggled to relive this part of her life. So their relationship started really early. She was roughly 19 when she met him, and their relationship kind of got underway when she was about 21. By the time she was 22 years old, she said that she was getting introduced to these freak-offs, a term that up until that point she had not heard. And as part of them, she, under this direct examination and under oath, told the jury that she was forced to engage in sex with male escorts, male prostitutes, while her boyfriend at the time, Diddy, watched. And she said she didn't really want to do it, but she did it because she loved him. She wanted to make him happy. She was in love at the time, young and naive, she said.
Ain't that called being in a relationship?
Yeah. I mean, come on. Come on now. Like,
your mate is down with, you down with. Ain't that what that's called? I mean, if you look at it objectively, shit, you smoke weed and then you pass the joint to your girl and she hit that shit, she get high, and then, things happen.
It's your fault.
Yep.
You gave it away.
I just know, I started, that's a woman's weakness is accountability and responsibility.
What was that movie, As Good as It Gets? Have you guys ever seen that?
Yes, I have.
Yep.
Well, that is one of my favorite movies for a lot of reason. But when he's in his publisher's office and the little intern comes in, he says, "Oh my God," and she's just like dripping all over him. She's like, "How do you write women so well?" He's like, "I think of a man, and I take away, what was it? Accountability and responsibility."
Yeah. And that's a woman's weakness. Well, it ain't just a woman's weakness,
They've done it.
Oh, absolutely.
They've done this comically in TV shows and in movies, that women don't have accountability, that women do gaslight men more so than you would think.
Yep. Eric, I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, and now it's not just women anymore because now it's being pushed to the extreme in that if you are here illegally, you are not to be held accountable for coming into this country against the law.
Right.
Yeah.
And your illegal ass can drop charges on Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I
And
was
now everybody want to try to put it on the men all the time, but like Noob said about the movie Good as Good as It Gets, there was another movie that was out about maybe a few years before that, or maybe a year or two before, that had the complete opposite happen. And I don't know if you remember a movie called Disclosure with Michael Douglas and Demi Moore.
I've heard of the movie, never seen it.
I think I've even seen it, but it's been so long and I don't remember
If
specifically.
you remember it, Michael Douglas plays this guy that works for this company. I think it's a tech company.
Mm.
And I think he used to I think him and Demi Moore had history. But Demi Moore was actually his superior.
Right. Go ahead.
And she came on to him strongly and he resisted. So then
Right.
he got thrown to the wolves like he did something to her.
And she was actually sabotaging like the production line that he was responsible for.
Yeah,
And
a
he
lot of his
found out
projects
it.
he was working on.
Yeah, and he found out about it because she was the only one that could make like these deviations without anybody knowing. You know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
the
Yep.
only one that had that kind of pull.
Mm-hmm. That man, you talking about that was a real good movie. I mean, it actually put the whole process, the whole situation that you would usually see one way into a completely different light.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to find out where that movie is. In hell, I might try to watch that again sometime this week.
I ain't been really watching movies a lot lately. I'm busy with this school, this electrician program, watching renovation videos and stuff. I'm trying to really get my life together before I hit 30 next year. So,
young man. Jeez.
Nothing wrong with that.
I miss my 30s. I mean, but they're long gone now.
that's my last, this is my last 20, so I'm gonna enjoy it the best I can. So,
Well, I mean, you're reaching the age of accountability, sir.
yeah. You know what? That's the thing about it too. When I was like in my early 20s, when Trump was in office and stuff, I was going along with the Democrats' narrative and stuff. But it's like 3 years later, like 2020 during COVID, me and my auntie, we had a conversation about Trump. And she told me why. Because she used to despise him back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know Trump is a little petty at times, trolling. And so she started breaking down like how we believe in Jesus Christ and how Barack Obama was during his presidency. So it's like for me, it's like I didn't get it at first. But once he started running again, I was like, I got it.
Telling you, man. It takes a strong-willed mind to not be a part of groupthink.
And that's funny because I was only 20 when I was thinking like that.
I mean, but your influences are different. Every 7 years, your influence changes.
Yeah, and it's like black people were being racist, saying things like that. I was going along with that. I was on with the Black Power, Black Lives Matter and stuff. Once I moved with my dad, he was like, "Black Lives Matter. What is that? What is that about?" So it's like,
Because honestly, life matters. Period. Point
yeah,
blank. Hard stop. You don't have to attach that to a genre. But Black lives do matter, and it's actually amazing to me how you got this guy Diddy right here going through what he's going through. Didn't get a bond. Abercrombie and Fitch sitting here. All of them got a bond,
hmm
and the oldest person, they not going to even. He's not competent to stand trial in their view. Okay, cool, whatever. But still, yet no, you went after Bill Cosby and he was blind. You going after Smokey Robinson? He's 85.
yep,
So it does not matter. I would just say that they went after Trump. I mean, he's white. Epstein, Weinstein, and all of it was unfair.
Yeah.
So when you look at the full scope of it, it's not about black versus white. We've taken this shit so far that it crept into sports with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. And Angel Reese.
And then it creeps in with Shadur Sanders.
And the funny thing about that Shooter Sanders situation is the draft, the first 3 picks were black.
And the first round draft pick last year, Caleb Williams for the Chicago Bears, the number 1 pick, black. Bryce Young, the year before that, number 1 draft pick overall, black. Where in the hell is racism at?
Yeah, and you got these fools like Steven Jackson out here talk about they don't like black people, this and that. But nigga, you played in the NBA.
Yeah, watch them N-bombs. You know what I'm saying? No.
I mean, you played in the NBA, and you was always acting a damn fool in the NBA.
He was, but the thing about it is that people need something to stand for.
Yeah.
When you're sitting there and you ain't got shit to attach yourself to, you don't stand, you don't have any moral compass.
Yeah.
Then you attach yourself to, it's a movement out there, me too, but you've been sliding down a damn pole for years, and now somebody took some shit from you after all the people that you done probably schemed. And this is not the situation that I'm talking about with Diddy, R. Kelly, or anybody. But keep it real. You, if you're not being a hoe for show, you're a hoe-ish. And you put yourself in these men's circles. Cassie put herself around Diddy because she knew good and damn well that he could probably help her with a career. She was cute as shit. He gave her an album. The album fucking flopped. And she had a 10-album deal, and he ain't do no more albums with her ass.
Was that her choice?
And she chose to stay with him because she was under a contract and, this influence shit and all of this. She never fulfilled her obligations as an artist at all.
She's a one-hit wonder. Hey, me and you.
She didn't fulfill her, dude. One song that you know of from her?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it, basically.
I
can't think of nothing else off the top of my head.
Man, or the bottom of my head, or the bottom of my feet, or
she on the list with other one-hit wonders like Jaquan. Everybody getting tipsy.
That's it.
And or Chameleon riding dirty.
I mean, so you got these people that get into these people's sphere, and they looking to get a hit, and then they get butt hurt when life don't go their way. Sparkle, one hit wonder.
Better be careful. Well, she needs to be careful soon too.
And then you end up in these situations. Now, this is literally, what I'm saying, it's a parallel.
The crazy part about it, didn't Sparkle's album actually go platinum?
Yeah, the first one under Rockland. Yeah,
because of one song. But and honest to goodness, me and you went platinum with Cassie. It did. It was the beat. Man, look, you could have gave that song. You could have gave that damn song to me, and I'd have been able to rock it. I mean, it was a well written song. She didn't have to do much on it, and that was it. I mean, I'm not trying to dog the woman out of discounting shit that she went through. Yeah, it might have been messed up, but see, you aren't. I don't see you after a while. You're not a victim to me. After a while, you can be a victim for so long, but after a while, you are complicit in your own victimization. And if you stay with somebody for 10 years and they were whooping your ass, and I can say that I've seen this in my own personal life coming up as a kid. If you stay with somebody and they whooping your ass, who the fool you are. You stayed. You can't come back 20 years later or 10 years later and then ask for some freaking bread. And then if that don't work out, then the next thing you know, you're arresting somebody because you are complicit in your own victimization. It might seem harsh. It might seem cruel, but the world is harsh. The world is cruel. And the world holds men accountable for every damn thing that happens, man.
But they don't know.
Everything that happens, we get hemmed up for it.
I mean, I'll tell you, I got a story. Sorry to cut you off. This was back 3 years ago. I was working at this barbecue place called Lucille's. You know, it was like my first 2 months there. And next thing I know, you know, they pulled me to the side saying that, oh, did you, because someone said, oh, you sexually harassed someone, which I really didn't, because I was a busser. And next thing you know, they investigated this shit. Was nothing to investigate about. And then next thing you know, I tried to go in, clock into work, and next thing you know, the day I went in to clock in, I got fired over a sexual harassment alleged something I ain't did.
Man, you know, it's so sad because, you know, you probably started coming up in the workforce while all of this shit was happening. And, you know, there was a point where I would say in the late 90s or 2000s, like Donald Trump said, you could literally walk up. I mean, I used to work at a few telemarketing spots, and that was a better situation than going to a bar.
Yeah.
It was a better situation. You had male, females. You know what I'm saying? You over there talking on the phone or whatever. You might be a top seller. You might not be a low seller. Some fine females working at these spots. And let me tell you, every last one of them that I worked at, I got me a piece. Sometimes I got a couple pieces. Different pieces. Variety.
Yeah.
Variety. You know, and you know, things that are frowned upon now, toxic masculinity, that's a bunch of bullshit because most of the time that all of that happened, it was happening to me.
Yeah.
People was coming for me. But the thing about it is, if a female don't get their way in certain situations, they can flip that shit on you, start crying, and the next thing you know, here we are. Even with Diddy in this situation. In her testimony, you know, and we just segue on to that. In her testimony, she stated that at a point she started to like it. Like it was all good. It was cool.
Hey, I did read that earlier too.
She started to like it. So
sorry. And when I was reading this stuff on X and I was seeing Dom and them posting it, everybody, some people was in the comments be like, oh my God, here we go, this and that. I'm like, well, common sense would tell you that she liked it and she was willing to do anything. So they can miss me with that.
Akin to the 20-time assaults that went on with Smokey over at some point. At a point, you was digging it, you was feeling it, you was coming for that, you was clocking in to get that.
Like TLC, digging on me, digging in you, whatever the fuck they said in the song. But
I mean, so you have to you got to cut the deck on some of this. You know, now was Diddy a freak? Yeah.
Yep. Was R. Kelly a freak? Yeah, he was.
Did Diddy do the most? Hell yeah. Was Diddy homosexual? Yeah. Was he bisexual? Whatever? Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's mainly bisexual more than, you know.
He liked dudes as much as he liked females, I think, personally.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
in bed together and shit.
Just glad Biggie ain't alive to get caught up in no RICO.
Yeah. Or Pop.
You feel me? Or Tupac or any of them, you know, because I'm sure, like, the freak off, this ain't no new deal, man.
It's been going on for decades, but now it's 2025, you know, the left is trying to, you know, create something that is not really necessary.
They're standing on a moral compass while being completely immoral.
Yeah, and it's like they couldn't get their way with the election, so
Right. So
they're going to try to get their way with this trial. But
right.
I don't think this trial is going to go as they planned,
I don't think so either.
because at the end of the day, a not guilty verdict. Hey, shoot, not guilty. Release our nigga too. Shit.
Right. I feel you. So check this out.
Yeah,
Go ahead, J Rock.
well, earlier today I talked to a couple of friends, a couple of my homeboys who I went to school with, and I was telling, because there was we was talking about the Diddy trial a little bit and everything, and I was telling them, do you know the level of the shit that went on when it came to R. Kelly? I basically dropped. I know I dropped at least about 10 videos from various sources that I sent them. That was just 10. That's just the light work. I haven't even gone in depth yet. One of the videos, one of them contained Michael Avenatti in the audio. When he said 90% of it was bullshit.
With Trump and R. Kelly, yeah.
Might actually be true. That was one. The other one was the audio with Cash Jones talking to Tim Savage when he mentioned about the fact that Lifetime spent about $4 or $5 million. That's why they didn't pull the documentary.
Oh, and another thing, while all that was going on, the Savages broke into the Trump's building, going into his house, looking through his bedroom, looking at his McDonald's and his mother and stuff like that. But they were talking about my daughter's missing and she in there. But the whole time you're videotaping this man's place. Yeah, they were incriminating themselves and nobody caught on to it.
So Diddy is holding people against their will, from allegedly, drugging people, starving people, hog tying people.
You
And
mean R. Kelly, man?
No, I'm talking about Diddy.
Oh,
Yeah, Diddy.
I'm talking about Diddy.
Oh, the same shit? Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, same shit. And
I'm talking about peeing on people.
Come on. Hey, cause
or Diddy got a lot of money, so from what Cassie said, he had somebody pee on her.
Yeah,
for him.
Hey, but it's all good though, because the truth is in this book, so it's all good.
Oh, you got the hard copy too, huh?
You got the poster over there.
Okay. You just like me. I got it too.
So honestly, goodness, and we about to go ahead and get up out of here. I'm a hard stop.
Come on, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I gotta get up. I gotta go to at 1. So
news.
Hey, I'm a hard stop. Listen. Before you talk the news, I'm a hard stop, but I want y'all to hang out. Don't leave. You feel me?
I'm still here.
All right. So, what was you about to say, J Rock, real quick before we get up?
I was gonna ask news for a favor, but if we going offline, we can do that.
Yeah, certain issues not meant to be televised.
Yeah.
Or YouTubealized, or Xalized, or Twitchalized.
Evolution would not be.
We gotta have some private meetings.
Yeah, it's all good.
Now, one thing that I can safely say when it comes to the Diddy thing is that we in for some shit. They got 8 more projected weeks to go. A lot of it is gonna be bullshit. A lot of it, and I can't wait if this cross examination go anyway, we're gonna be back. Because they said that she's going to be on the stand for about 3 days. This is day 1. So let's stick to it. Let's be diligent. We got Trump over there in the Middle East. It's a lot going on, man, and he over there making deals right now, man. He might come back with the China deal in full force. You never know. You never know with our amazing president. He's so amazing. The people on the left think he's amazing. They can't stop talking about the guy. And once again, it's been one. I appreciate y'all for coming out. Noobs, buddy.
What's up?
Thank you so much, man. It's a good feeling to have you on the panel with me. It flows so well. The ebb and flow is so nice.
Yeah, man. Let me close out 2 things on the Diddy trial that I'm going to be looking for in the coming weeks. One is that I have not seen a single piece of evidence to convince me that there is a RICO violation.
I swear.
2,
Mm.
I have not seen a single or heard a piece of evidence yet to suggest trafficking.
They're gonna get to it. They're gonna.
Okay, that's what I'm going to be looking for. And then 3, the other thing that comes to mind is that, and this is something that y'all beat to death during your discussion. This woman that stayed around for 10 years, blah 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 blah. That's because she was getting a paycheck. Well, who's writing their paychecks now?
Right.
Mm.
Right. Noobs.
Great question.
Why you just drive the nail all the way in the wood? I wanted to hit it.
Hey, man, because you're closing out, and so just wanted to leave that out there.
I wanted to hit the wood too, man. Damn, but it's okay.
Yeah.
For all J Rock, you got something to say before you get up out? Or
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty well. Like I said, there was a favor I needed to ask of Noobs. I don't know if he can do it or not, but I'm hoping he can. But
okay, well, like I said, we'll say that for the segue. What about you, young conservative? Keep it short, keep it sweet. Let's get up out of here so we can talk. Well, going once, going twice. He ain't got shit to say. So we go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate all of those who came in. Once again, on your way out, if you like, share, and subscribe and hit the notification bell, it will be greatly appreciated. I love y'all once again. It's been Provoked Thoughts. It's been Noobs. It's been the Young Conservative. And it has been J Rock. And we out of here.